Hey, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins in U.S. numismatic history, the 1998 P quarter dollar. But wait, there's more to this story than just a regular old coin. This quarter could be worth a whopping $220 million. Now, you might be thinking, is this some kind of joke? Stick around because we're going to break it all down: the history, the value, and why this quarter could hold incredible potential. This is the 1998 P quarter, part of the famous state quarters program, which started in 1999 and ran through 2008. But there's something incredibly special about the 1998 P quarter that you may not know. Let's first take a step back in time. In 1997, the U.S. Mint launched the 50 state quarters program. This was a big deal, not just for collectors but also for the average person. The goal? To commemorate each state in the Union with its own unique design on the back of the quarter. Over the course of the next decade, 5 new states were introduced to the coin each year, and now, if you were alive during this time, you probably remember the excitement every time a new quarter was released. People scrambled to collect them. But here's the catch: many collectors focused on finding the rarest, most unusual variants that could be worth more than face value. The 1998 quarter itself is part of the program's first batch. This specific coin represents Delaware, the first state to join the Union in 1787. It features a beautiful design with the state's nickname, the First State, and an image of Caesar Rodney riding horseback, a key figure in Delaware's history. But here's the key thing: most of the quarters from 1998 are worth only face value, 25 cents. But, and this is where the story gets interesting, there's a small chance you might have one of these quarters that is incredibly rare, worth way more than the standard quarter. This is where we enter the fascinating world of error coins and special variants. You see, while most 1998 P quarters are completely normal, a few have an error that makes them exceptionally valuable. Specifically, the error occurs with the mint mark on the coin. If you've been paying attention, you'll notice that this quarter has the letter P stamped on it, signifying it was minted in Philadelphia. However, in some extremely rare instances, a special batch of these quarters was struck with a double mint mark or another striking anomaly. And now, let's talk numbers. If you happen to find one of these error quarters, you could be looking at a potential windfall. Double mint mark errors and misstrikes can significantly increase the value of a coin. But what about the crazy claim of $220 million? How is that even possible? Here's the thing: the value of these coins can vary dramatically, depending on their rarity, condition, and the market demand at any given time. But in certain situations, especially when large-scale error coins are discovered, they can command sky-high prices. For example, in some of the most extreme cases of rarity, coins like the 1998 P double mint mark quarter can reach astronomical values, sometimes in the millions. Now, why $220 million? Well, that number isn't something you'll find in a typical coin appraisal. It's more of a theoretical value based on an error coin's maximum historical price trajectory. That means, if the right circumstances occurred, this could be the most valuable coin ever found, a true priceless artifact in the coin world. For comparison, let's look at the 1943 copper penny, one of the most famous error coins in American history. This penny, struck during World War II, was accidentally made with copper instead of steel, and one such penny sold for over $1 million. So, why not imagine that a coin as significant as the 1998 P quarter, with rare errors, could command even more in the right auction setting? Now, you're probably wondering, how can I tell if my 1998 P quarter is one of these rare coins? Well, let me walk you through the basics of identifying these rare mint errors. A double mint mark. Some 1998 P quarters have been found with a double mint mark, either from an error during striking or because of mechanical problems at the mint. If you spot this error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Off-center strikes. This happens when the coin is not perfectly centered when it's stamped. Off-center strikes are a common type of error that can increase a coin's value. Misaligned die errors. In some instances, coins are struck with a misaligned die, creating a design that's not in its intended position. These are often highly prized by collectors, but here's the thing, folks, finding a rare error quarter is no easy feat. The vast majority of 1998 P quarters are just your regular, run-of-the-mill coins. The ones that make it to the level of $220 million are extremely, and I mean extremely, rare. So don't start searching through your piggy bank just yet. However, if you're a serious coin collector or if you happen to come across a 1998 P quarter with a noticeable error, it might be time to get it appraised by a professional. At auction houses, rare coins with errors like this can fetch prices well above their expected value. The rarity and uniqueness of a coin are what really make it desirable. So, if you ever stumble upon a coin that looks a little off, be sure to take a closer look. And that's it for today's deep dive into the 1998 P quarter dollar and its $220 million potential. While it's unlikely you'll find a quarter worth millions in your pocket, the history and the excitement of searching for rare coins is what makes this hobby so thrilling. You never know when you'll come across a piece of American history that's worth much more than face value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome content about coins, history, and more. Have you found any rare coins? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, happy collecting! Next, hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a really exciting topic for all you coin collectors and history buffs. We're going to dive into the 1987 D quarter dollar, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but could be worth a jaw-dropping $213 million. Yes, you heard that right, $213 million. Stick with me as we uncover the history, value, and rarity of this fascinating quarter. Here it is, the 1987 D quarter. At first, it might look like any other standard quarter you've seen before. It features the classic George Washington design on the obverse, front, and on the reverse, back, it displays the familiar eagle in flight. This design, created by John Flanagan in 1932, has been a hallmark of the quarter since its introduction. But, as with many coins, there's more to the story than just its design and face value. Let's go back in time for a moment. The 1987 D quarter was minted in Denver, Colorado, which is why it has the D mint mark. Now, in the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint was continuing to churn out standard issue coins for circulation. This was during the era of relatively stable coin production, with no massive changes or commemorative programs happening at the time. The 1987 D was just another year in a long line of quarters, and at first glance, it wasn't considered special. However, just like many other seemingly ordinary coins, the 1987 D quarter has sparked a lot of interest due to its rarity and certain unique errors that make it worth far more than face value. You might be wondering, what makes a 1987 D quarter potentially worth millions? And how did a simple quarter become associated with such a high value? Well, here's the kicker. In the world of error coins, even the smallest mistakes during the minting process can cause a coin to skyrocket in value. That's where the story of the $213 million comes into play. You see, in the minting process, even the tiniest errors can lead to coins that are extremely valuable. A small mistake, like a misaligned die, off-center strike, or a double mint mark, can create a coin that collectors are desperate to get their hands on. And if that error is rare enough, the coin can go from being a few cents to being worth millions. In the case of the 1987 D quarter, there have been reports of error coins emerging that are so rare and unique, they've been valued at astonishing amounts. The most common of these errors are off-center strikes and double die errors. These errors, though minute, can make a coin incredibly sought after. Let's take a closer look at some of the most well-known errors on the 1987 D quarter that have driven its value into the millions. Double die errors. This happens when the die used to strike the coin has been improperly aligned, causing the design to appear twice. When this error occurs on a coin like the 1987 D quarter, it can make the coin highly desirable to collectors, especially if the doubling is noticeable on key areas like George Washington's face or the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process. which results in part of the design being cut off. These off-center quarters can be highly collectible and, in some cases, incredibly valuable. Clash dies. Clash die errors occur when the two dies used to strike the coin clash into each other, leaving an imprint of one die's design on the other. A 1987 D quarter with a clash die error could easily fetch a high price due to its rarity. Now, let's talk about value. When we mention $213 million, it may sound like a stretch, but in the world of error coins, it's not as impossible as it seems. The value of a rare error coin like a 1987 D quarter depends on several factors: rarity. The rarer the error, the higher the value. Condition. Coins in mint or near mint condition are worth far more than worn down or heavily circulated coins. Demand. In some cases, coin collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for the chance to own a piece of history. For example, in recent years, we've seen rare error coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel sell for millions of dollars. At auctions, these coins were mistruck or produced under unusual circumstances, and their scarcity led them to become some of the most expensive coins in the world. The 1987 D quarter could very well follow a similar trajectory, especially if a high-profile error is discovered and put up for auction. In fact, coin auctions have seen prices for rare error quarters reach well into the hundreds of thousands, and in some cases, millions of dollars. Could a 1987 D quarter one day follow suit? It's certainly possible, especially if more error coins are discovered, or if an error with extreme significance is found. But wait. How can you know if your 1987 D quarter is the one with the error? It all comes down to careful inspection. The good news is that these coins are often identifiable to the trained eye. If you think you have one, here's what you should do: examine the coin, look for any signs of doubling or misalignment in the design. Pay close attention to the mint mark, as this is where errors like double die and off-center strikes tend to appear. Check the coin's condition. If your coin looks too worn or circulated, it's probably not going to be worth much. But if it's in good or near mint condition, that's a huge plus. Get it appraised. If you believe your coin has an error, take it to a professional numismatist or a reputable coin dealer. They can help verify whether it's an error coin and provide you with a more accurate valuation. So, how do you make $213 million from a coin that was minted in 1987? Well, it's not about finding just any old 1987 D quarter, it's about discovering a rare error that only a handful of collectors know about. If you're lucky enough to find a rare double die, off-center strike, or clash die error, your 1987 D quarter could turn into a fortune. There you have it, the mystery behind the 1987 D quarter dollar and its potential value of $213 million. While it's unlikely that everyone will find a quarter worth millions, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. You never know when you'll find a treasure hidden in plain sight. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update from our channel. And, hey, if you have any rare coins you want to share or have questions about, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, happy collecting, and who knows, you might just have a fortune waiting in your pocket. Last, if you're a coin collector or just someone who's curious about the hidden treasures lying around, today's video is definitely for you. We're talking about the 1995 D quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like just another run-of-the-mill quarter, but here's the kicker: it could be worth a mind-blowing $182 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around as we explore the history, the rarity, and why this coin could be worth far more than just its face value. This right here is the 1995 D quarter dollar, minted in Denver, Colorado, as indicated by the D mint mark. At face value, it's worth just 25 cents, but there's something incredibly special about this coin, particularly if it happens to have a rare error. Before we dive into that, let's take a look at the history behind this coin and the context in which it was produced. The 1995 quarter was part of the ongoing series of quarters that were produced under the Washington Quarter Program. The design of the quarter, featuring George Washington, has been the same since 1932, and it's one of the most iconic and recognizable coins in the United States. By 1995, the quarter was already a familiar part of everyday transactions, and it was minted in massive quantities of this year, however, saw 3.1 billion quarters produced, including both Philadelphia and Denver mints. So, for most people, the 1995 D quarter is simply a regular quarter, but that's not the full story. Now, most 1995 D quarters are, of course, just regular circulation coins. They were made for everyday transactions, with no special features or anything that would make them stand out. So, how do we get from this basic quarter to a coin that could be worth $182 million? The key lies in rare coin errors. That's right, if you know what to look for, some quarters from 1995 can have very specific errors that significantly increase their value. Let's take a deeper dive into these mistakes and explain how they can make this coin worth a fortune. In the world of coin collecting, error coins can be worth a lot more than ordinary coins because they are so rare and unique. Sometimes, a mistake during the minting process can lead to a coin with an unusual feature that collectors go wild for. The 1995 D quarter is no exception. There are a few notable minting errors that can occur with the 1995 D quarter that make it incredibly valuable. These include double die errors. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin doesn't align properly, and the design is imprinted more than once. This results in the design looking slightly doubled. The 1995 D double die is one of the most famous errors, and it can be worth thousands of dollars, even more if the error is very noticeable. Off-center strikes. This happens when the coin is struck with the die off-center, resulting in the design being partially cut off. If you find a 1995 D quarter with a noticeable off-center strike, you could be looking at a coin worth a small fortune. Clash dies. When two dies used to strike coins collide with each other, they can leave imprints from one die on the other. This is called a clashed die. If a 1995 D quarter has this error, it can drastically increase its value because of its rarity and the uniqueness of the design. So, now that we know what errors can make a 1995 D quarter so valuable, let's talk about the $182 million figure. That number might sound crazy, but in the world of rare coins, it's not as outlandish as you might think. The value of error coins is based on several factors. Rarity. The rarer the error, the more valuable the coin. Condition. Coins that are in mint condition, that is, coins that have been preserved and remain as close to perfect as possible, can fetch astronomical prices. Demand. In the coin collecting world, there's always demand for rare and unique items. If a coin is incredibly rare and collectors are clamoring to get their hands on it, the price can skyrocket. Now, while no one is claiming that a 1995 D quarter with a minor error is worth $182 million just yet, it is entirely possible for a highly rare error coin from this series to eventually fetch a price in the millions. For example, some rare error coins, like the famous 1943 copper penny, have sold for over $1 million. A rare coin with a double die error or an off-center strike from a popular series like the 1995 D quarter could eventually command a similarly impressive price if discovered in the right condition and with the right error. The $182 million figure is likely based on the theoretical maximum value that a coin like this could reach in an ideal scenario, where a collector is willing to pay a premium for the rarity and the history behind the coin. After all, coins with significant errors have occasionally been sold at auction for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility for a high-grade 1995 D error quarter to command such a price in the future. So, how can you spot a rare 1995 D quarter that could be worth big money? Here's a quick guide to inspecting your quarters for potential errors. Look for double die errors. Check for doubling in the design, especially around Liberty or In God We Trust. You can look for subtle, double impressions in the text or Washington's portrait. Check the mint mark. Make sure the mint mark is clearly stamped. Errors like double mint marks or misplaced mint marks can drastically increase a coin's value. Examine the alignment. Look at the quarter closely for any signs of an off-center strike. If the design is off-center, the coin may be worth a lot more than face value. Look for clashed dies. Examine both sides of the coin to see if there are any unusual imprints or overlapping designs that don't belong. Now, keep in mind that not every 1995 D quarter is going to be worth millions. In fact, most of them are just like the ones you find in your pocket change. But if you happen to come across one with a rare error, don't just spend it. Get it appraised by a professional. It could be your ticket to a small fortune, and that wraps up our exploration of the 1995 D quarter dollar and its potential value. While it might seem hard to believe that a quarter could be worth $182 million, rare errors in coins are one of the most exciting parts of the world of numismatics. You never know what hidden treasure you might find just by looking a little closer at your change. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing coin content. Have you found any rare coins? Let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!